What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the two new upcoming packages, the next physical infrastructure package, and the next stimulus package, named the American Families Plan, as well as what is going on in the world today. As California is passing their own stimulus checks right now, as yes, California just approved $600 stimulus checks for people making up to $75,000, as well as an additional $500 for parents with children, $1,100. You might not be in California. This is about 25 million people. There's also the child tax credits that are monthly payments that are going to start sending out checks of $250 to $300 per child starting in July. This is going to go out to about 65 million children. Of course, the children don't get the checks. The checks actually go to the person who claims the child as a dependent. Well, my goal here on this channel is to bring you all these different stimulus programs, whether they're affecting 25 million people, 65 million people. I'm going to bring them all to you because, again, these are millions of checks going out that might put money in your pocket, as well as we cover mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, utility assistance, internet assistance, all those different programs. But I've been getting a lot of questions on the channel. What about for seniors? So first, I want to show you the proposed Social Security increases right now, as well as then I'm going to show you exactly what they're saying in Congress. We're going to go down to the Senate floor, and you're going to hear directly from the senators on Social Security increases, as well as we will be discussing the fourth stimulus check, the latest news on the new upcoming stimulus package, the American Families Plan. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new videos. And remember that new videos come out here on our channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, if you like these videos, give this video a like down below. It really helps out our channel. Now, also, I know that you might not be a senior. Hopefully, the child tax credits help you, or the California checks. There's going to be checks coming out in a lot more states. I will link you to a video I did at the end of this video about all the states that are having stimulus checks or stimulus programs that could put money in your pocket right now. But first, I want to talk about seniors, people on Social Security. There might be some non-seniors. You're almost a senior on Social Security, as well as SSI, SSDI, railroad benefits, VA. When I say Social Security, most of the time, I mean just the entire Social Security program, okay? There is a proposal to increase SSI only to 100% of the federal poverty level, and that's really the only proposal that has SSI singled out. SSI. SSI makes $794 per month right now, and that proposal is to raise them to 100% of the federal poverty level, which, as you can see here on the screen, is $12,880 for a single person. So if we take that $12,880, that would raise the SSI program to $1,073 per month. This could end up including the SSDI program, but really I want to talk about the programs that cover all of Social Security. And then we're going to go directly to the Senate floor, where we will be hearing directly from the congressman talking and discussing, and you'll see some very interesting information about increasing Social Security benefits. Now, I'm not going to go into it too much about Medicare benefits, but I think there's a very good chance that Medicare extra benefits will be in this next package that will include hearing, dental, vision, and hearing aids included for everybody on Medicare, which I think Bernie Sanders says about 75% of seniors do not have these coverages. So not only would this give all those benefits to seniors for no additional cost, but people that do pay for those, they pay extra supplemental insurance policies to get those benefits, would probably not have to pay those anymore and would thus save hundreds or thousands of dollars per year by not having to pay for them. In addition to this, they want to lower the Medicare eligibility age to age 60 or age 55. The first bill I want to talk about is from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Elizabeth Warren and Senator Ron Wyden have unveiled a plan to increase all Social Security benefits, everybody's SSI, SSDI, railroad benefits, VA, everybody under the Social Security umbrella by $200 per month for all Social Security beneficiaries. The plan is to provide more than 60 million Americans with an additional $4,000 over 2 years is part of the Senate Democrats' bold Phase 3 stimulus proposal. Now, this is a bill that was originally introduced last year, but the Democrats couldn't pass it because Mitch McConnell controlled the Senate and he would not let this go to a vote. Now, they have a very real chance of passing this, whether this will be in this package or in the next package after that. The Democrats have a little bit about a year to pass all these things on their agenda until the next midterm election. So again, this particular bill would increase all Social Security benefits for beneficiaries by $200 per month. The next one is by Senator Bernie Sanders. This is directly here on his website, berniesanders.com. You can just Google Bernie Sanders Social Security increase and you will find this page. He says, today we say to our senior citizens that we understand that you cannot live in dignity when you are trying to survive on $13,000 or $14,000 a year in Social Security benefits. My Republican colleagues want to cut Social Security, but we have some bad news for them. We're not going to cut Social Security benefits. We're going to expand them. Now, Bernie Sanders, who's the Senate Budget Chairman, his particular plan to increase Social Security says, first, we will make sure that Social Security will pay every benefit owed to every eligible American for the next 52 years. Second, we will expand benefits across the board, including a $1,300 per year benefit increase for seniors with incomes of $16,000 a year or less. So this particular bill looks like it would be about $108 or so increase across the board for Senator Bernie Sanders' plan. He says, third, we will lift millions of seniors out of poverty by increasing the minimum benefits paid to low-income workers when they retire. And fourth, we will increase the cost of living adjustments to keep up with the rising cost of healthcare and prescription drugs by establishing a consumer price index for the elderly. Next up is a plan that comes directly from President Biden. And President Biden's a particular plan to raise Social Security and to increase a Social Security tax for people making $400,000 per year would actually pay for this increase. Biden calls for these increased levies to help pay for the proposed benefit increases, including raising the minimum Social Security benefit to at least 125% of the federal poverty level. There are several reasons why Medicare levies would also make it into President Biden's tax package. President Biden touted big changes to the program on the campaign trail. Under his plan, eligible workers would get a guaranteed minimum benefit equal to at least 125% of the federal poverty level. So again, the minimum poverty, the federal poverty level right now for a single person is $12,888. If we divide that by 12, we come up with that $1,073 figure again. But President Biden wants that to be 25% more, 125% of the federal poverty level, which would make all Social Security beneficiaries a minimum of $1,341 per month. So that is about, let me see here, if we multiply that times 12, that is $16,100 per year. So $1,341 per month, $16,000 per year. In addition to this, he says people who have received benefits for at least 20 years would get a 5% bump. Widows and widowers would receive about 20% more per month on top of this. So 5% for people that have been on the Social Security program for over 20 years, in addition to these other raises, as well as widows and widowers would receive about 20% more per month. Next up, I want to show you what Congress is discussing about these Social Security benefits and these raises right now. Yes, they are actually discussing this on the Congress floor. And here is Democratic Representative John Larson talking about raising Social Security benefits.
Again, let's be clear about this. This is a responsibility of the Ways and Means Committee and specifically this subcommittee. We can no longer kick the can down the road. For everyone listening and viewing out there, understand what that means. What kicking the can literally means is postponing the fierce urgency of acting now, and will result in literally kicking seniors to the curb, kicking veterans with disabilities to the curb, kicking spouses and dependent children to the curb who have been waiting for more than 50 years for this body to act. That is unacceptable. Today, we will hear from real people and their stories. We will hear from people who are struggling to survive on inadequate benefits, who have been discriminated against through the windfall elimination provision, and from racial inequities. Everyone on this committee knows the urgency. 10,000 baby boomers a day become eligible for Social Security, and millennials will need and rely on this program more than their parents do. Every congressional district is affected. We don't have to go back to 1935 to demonstrate what happened in the aftermath of the Great Depression. We only have to go back to the Great Recession of 2008 and 2009, when people witnessed their 401k become a 101k. We now will turn to our panel of witnesses, each one of whom is a Social Security beneficiary. Thank you all for joining us today and sharing your firsthand experience with Social Security. We particularly wanted to put a face on Social Security that I think America needs to see, and as importantly, Congress needs to see. I think most Americans get it with respect to what needs to be done with regard to Social Security. It's just a matter of having a body that hasn't acted in over 50 years to improve a program to finally step forward and do what's right on behalf of the American people.
Now, here's really the important part. Listen to this.
I heard it in something consistent in all your statements, but this notion, especially Mr. Blair, that you mentioned of being a burden. I remember my mother saying clearly at 87 years old, and I'm sure that for people on this committee and listeners out there, you've heard this from your family members as well. I just don't want to be a burden. You're not a burden. You're an inspiration. You're what has made this nation what we are. Ms. McDonald, listening to you and what you had to say, and Ms. Ruderman, looking for work at 75 years of age because you're trying to make ends meet and you don't want to be a burden. You're not a burden, but you are the responsibility of this committee. And it's this committee's responsibility to act. So my question to all of you, should the Ways and Means Committee, and specifically the Subcommittee on Social Security, vote on reforming Social Security and bringing it up to date? It's been more than 50 years since we've expanded the program. A lot has transpired in 50 years. And certainly, listening to all of you, it hasn't kept pace with inflation. It has provisions in it that are clearly unfair, as was outlined by Ms. Widmeyer, and clearly unintentionally or not, or because they were systemically, economically embedded in the law initially, are unfair and inadequate. Should we vote now, or should we kick the can down the road? What do you say, Mr. Blair?
Congressman, I say we should have voted yesterday.
Well,
I think it's a black mark on our nation that we have 65 million people who are dependent on the law that was passed in 1935 and have not been updated for 50 years. How are we supposed to live? I mean, we're not asking for riches. We're just asking for an update in this policy so it keep pace with the standard of living that we're expected and deserve today. That's all we ask.
And as I said before, this isn't the president's responsibility, though he's got a proposal out there. This is nothing that the judicial system is going to act on. This is the responsibility of this body and this committee. Ms. Lopez, should this committee act? Do you think this committee should vote and act on enhancing benefits that haven't been improved in more than 50 years?
Yes.
Ms. McDonald, what benefits would you like to see acted upon and improved so that you out in Seattle, Washington can make ends
Well,
meet?
it's the cost of living. I'm sorry. It's the cost of living living allowance that is given every year. And I think that is not enough. You could hardly notice it when it comes. So I think that's the number one that should be voted on and acted upon by this committee, Mr. Larson, and all the rest of the committee.
So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. I can't show you the whole committee congressional speech there because it's over 2 hours long, and I watched it, but I wanted to show you some of the highlights there. So they are discussing this in Congress right now. You heard him say President Biden has his own proposal, which I showed you. There's 3 different proposals to raise all Social Security. There's President Biden's of $1,341 a month. There's Bernie Sanders to raise Social Security by $1,300 per year, $108 per month. There's that $200 per month Social Security plan as well to raise all Social Security benefits by $200 per month. So there is very real possibilities out there. I think there's also a very real possibility that the Medicare benefits will be included in this next package that will include hearing, dental, vision, and hearing aids, which they say about 75% of seniors do not have any coverage for this at all, as well as the money for the fourth stimulus check. There's plenty of money for a fourth stimulus check or a monthly recurring fourth stimulus check that is separate than the child tax credit monthly checks, okay? They're proposing a $4 to $6 trillion bill for the fourth stimulus check package with the 2 bills combined. And there's $1 to $2 trillion sitting on the sideline that's already been passed from the previous stimulus packages that is just sitting there and is probably going to need to be voted on to be repurposed. But a $1,400 stimulus check, for example, costs about $400 billion. So they could easily include a single or 2 $1,400 stimulus checks in one of these next packages, simply with the money that they don't even need to print new money, just the money that's sitting there alone. There's actually $2 trillion, but they're proposing the $350 billion that went to states, cities, and counties came out of there. So that leaves about 1.6 or 1.7 trillion. And then they're proposing to take $600 billion of that money and use it for the infrastructure package. So even after both that set of money goes out, there's still $1 trillion left over. And they could send out, let me see here, about over $3,000 in stimulus checks just from that $1 trillion. So I personally do think that they are going to include, at the bare minimum, a single stimulus check and an extension of the child tax credits and these Medicare expansion. And if you got the first, second, and third stimulus check, you'll probably qualify for the fourth stimulus check. The most likely scenario is that we will see the exact same qualifications, because the third stimulus check, the qualifications, the income threshold and stuff was negotiated by the Democrats only. The Democrats only passed the third stimulus check package. So it's very likely that they'll keep the same income thresholds. I could see maybe, if anything, they might lower the income threshold. Right now it's at $75,000 to $80,000 for a single filer, $112,500 for a single filer head of household, and $150,000 to $160,000 for a couple. Maybe I could see them lowering that income threshold a little bit, but I definitely do think there will be at least a single stimulus check in this next package, if not the monthly recurring stimulus checks that so many Democrats are pushing for. So I will keep you up to date with everything, all the different stimulus programs, the Social Security programs, the Medicare programs, the child tax credits, the state stimulus checks. If it could put money in any of our viewers' pockets, including millions of them, I will let you guys know about it. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. After subscribing, click the bell icon to all notifications to get reminder notifications when we go live, which is every day here at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video. This bottom video is about the states, cities, and counties that are passing their own stimulus checks. And this video is about what Senator Joe Manchin said. It's just some very good news about the next stimulus check package. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.